Hi everyone, this is Kevin with My Shop Assist. Today I'm going to go over the jobs page within the system. It's going to be one of the two most common pages you use between the calendar and the jobs. So we're going to start by clicking on the jobs page. So what you're going to see here is several columns. And in these columns we call them zones. And by default, like in this shop here, we have an estimates zone, an active zone, and a completed zone. The difference between these are estimates are treated slightly different in that they do not have a person signed to them. They don't have timers. They don't appear on the schedule. They don't appear in any reports. They're just there. They're basically placeholders to give customers prices and for you to determine what you need to add to a job before you create the job. The second column here is active, and so this is going to be all the actual vehicles that you either have scheduled or at your shop. And the last column, of course, is the completed one. And this will be just basically everything you've finished. And one thing to note is when the system first loads, we talked about this in the user video a little bit, but basically it's going to say loading 0 out of 10, 0 out of 100, 0 out of 500 at the very beginning when you sign in. What that is doing, it is preloading all the jobs that are active. So in this case, it'd be this column. It's not going to preload all the completed jobs. It's just going to preload the active jobs. And that makes all the pages load a lot faster. But if you do want to view a completed job, you can click on it. It will ping the server for that because it has not pre-downloaded it into your browser's cache. And the same goes for estimates. These are not preloaded into your browser's cache. So yeah, basically instant loading between dashboard, calendar jobs, going into these jobs. They're all very fast. But some of these ones in the completed column are going to take a little longer. You saw it say loading there. And that's because it's asking the server for the data before it displays it. Okay, so first of all, on this page here, you can customize these columns. And if you'll see on the top right here, there's an extra header here. We can go in here and we can say tuning. And we now have another zone for tuning. And we can grab the 3 dots and we can move them around. So you can move them around. Let's add another one here. We're going to call it powder coating. I'm going to drag this one over here. So just an example, maybe we have a couple different things at our shop. We've got tuning, powder coating, and possibly just services on here. From there, what you can do is you can drag any of these tickets and move them into any of the zones. So let's drag this one here into the tuning zone. And we have a powder coating one here. And this estimate one I'm going to put in there. And I'm going to show you how you do that in a second here. But any of the jobs can be moved around just by clicking on it. Also, we did add the ability to have a job in multiple zones. So if you read up along the top here, it says hold control to add job to multiple zones. So if we hold control down and drag this one over, it will put it in 2 zones. So this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 job here is in both. And you can tell because it's got a little X on it. So each of these has an X. If you close one of them, it will remove it from the zone, but it will still be a job. And the 2 of them are the exact same job. We just represent it twice on this page. Each of these jobs can be, or rather these zones can be sorted differently. So if you press the little gear button, you can change the sort. But right now they are date sorted. So if we click on it here, and now they should be manual sorted. So you can move them around. And if they're date sorted, it's just off the start stop date. Also, there's a bunch of different filtering on this page here. So up along the top right here, we have a show all. You'll see some of the icons on these tickets, and that's how this filtering works. So in this case, on this job here, we got a red shopping cart, which means this job needs parts to be ordered. And this one's got a green shopping cart, which means the parts have been received. They've been ordered and they have been received. And so we can filter all these jobs by different criteria. So in this case, if they need parts to be ordered, we can see that this job has parts to be ordered. Additionally, all parts have been received. Shows all the jobs that don't need any parts ordered. The last one on here is no export. This is going to be for QuickBooks. So you can filter it by what has not been exported. It's very handy in the completed zone here because it will you can tell what has not been exported after you've finished it. So that way you can export the job and then complete it. We're just going to show all of them at the moment here. And there are a couple other filters you can run on there. One of them is active, and there's a flag for if a job is being worked on. And then there's another flag called on site. So if you're doing vehicles, you can flag vehicles as on site, and then you can filter them on this page by what is available or not, actually what is at your shop or not. Each one of these tickets you can change several of the criteria on. So like in this case, we see our user avatars here, the initials of the circle. You can click on any of these and change who it's assigned to. And it will ask if you want to apply it to all the unfinished tasks as well. So we can change them around. That's actually already Dyno Tuner. Let's see, we'll make this one Todd. There. So you can change those around. You can also reschedule them. So you can click on the dates here and you can put them on the calendar however you want. We don't want a time on that one. And then we put another date on it, the 17th. There we go. So you can change the dates on it. If you do click on the, this is the work order page here, or sorry, yeah, the work order. If you click on it, it will bring you into the work order directly rather than to the job view, which would be this one here. But just clicking on the title of the job brings you into the job itself. If you want to move a job from the estimates to the active column, all you have to do is go into the estimate, click actions, and create job. And this will run you through the steps here. Obviously the first two or first three should already be populated. If you want to schedule it, first you would like reassign it. If you want to schedule it, you'd click here and put it on a day on the calendar. If you need to do any appointment reminders, any of the inspection information or waiver. And now when we look at the job page, you'll see it's no longer in the estimates and it's been moved to the active column. From here, this one's powder coat wheels, we're going to drag it into the powder coating field here. And one thing that's handy about all these zones is on the calendar, you can now filter stuff by zone. So if you look at here, if we clear all of them and just show the powder coating one, it will show all the jobs on the powder coating zone. Likewise for tuning and the active column. So if you're running a separate schedule for your tuning and maybe you have 1 or 2 dyno tunes every day to do, you can put them all into the dyno zone and then you can see just your dyno calendar. And then you could also do a service one, or you could do an engine building one, and you can sort the calendar by different criteria such as that kind of stuff, and it makes it a lot easier to use. If you're inside of a job, you can also change what zone it's in. So if we click on the Ben Franklin, there is a zones drop down here, and you can change which one it is in, or you can put it in multiple ones if you want. So we can drop this job into all 3 zones. If we go back to the jobs page, the Ben Franklin job will be in all 3. And just like before, if you click it, you can remove it from 1 or 2 of the zones. And the last thing we have on this page is if you are a very large shop and have a lot of zones, we do have now departments. So if you go up here and you can click this departments thing. And in this case, we don't have a department yet, but we can add one. So we're going to add a department. We're going to call it the powder department. And we're going to select which zones appear in it. And we'll add a second department, and we're going to call it shop. Okay, so now when we want to look at the individual departments, we can click on this, show the powder zone, or show the shop zone, or all the zones that we have. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can always email, call us, or message us in the chat system. Thank you, and have a good day.